Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Iran. Four different countries, four different conflicts, but one common thread. Today, we're going to uncover the real strategy behind these strikes. And trust me, it's not what the mainstream media is telling you. Let's start with the facts. In recent months, we've seen airstrikes across the Middle East. From Gaza to Iran, the pattern is clear. Yet somehow, the narrative remains the same. One side is always portrayed as the victim, always under threat. But here's what they don't want you to see. This isn't random violence. This is strategy. Cold, calculated strategy. You see, military strength in the Middle East doesn't exist in isolation. There's a partnership at work here. One that provides unlimited diplomatic cover, unlimited funding, and unlimited military support. The United States and Israel working together, moving together. The U.S. provides the shield politically and financially, and in return, complete freedom to operate across the region. But there's something else, something that gives this partnership an edge no one else has. Nuclear weapons. Israel is the only country in the Middle East with nuclear capability. Think about what that means. It's like bringing a sword to a knife fight. It's not just about having more power. It's about having power that can't be matched. This nuclear shield allows for actions that would be impossible otherwise. Air campaigns, targeted strikes, regional influence. All because no one can truly fight back. Now here's where it gets interesting. What if Iran developed nuclear weapons? The media tells us the fear is that Iran would use them recklessly. But experts say something different. The real fear isn't that Iran would use nuclear weapons. The real fear is that nuclear weapons would prevent no more one-sided air campaigns, no more assumptions of total dominance, no more unchecked influence. In other words, the playing field would become level. But this goes deeper than just Iran. Look around the Middle East today. What do you see? Iraq, destabilized and still rebuilding after decades. Syria, fragmented and torn apart. Lebanon, struggling with constant economic and political pressure. Even Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Jordan, stable, yes, but so dependent on Western aid that they rarely change anything publicly. This isn't coincidence. This is strategy. The goal? Keep the region divided and dependent. Keep it weak. Some analysts even point to documented interests in creating a Kurdish state. Why? Because it would split up Iraq, Syria, Iran, and Turkey. Classic divide and rule. Keep everyone fighting each other instead of looking at the real power structure. So let's talk about those recent strikes on Iran. What actually changed on the ground? Here's what the reports show. Instead of weakening the government, the opposite happened. The people rallied together. Even government critics turned their focus on external threats. It's a pattern we've seen before. Serbia, Iraq, Libya. When you attack a country from the outside, you don't get regime change. You get national unity. Now, some might say, but what about Libya? Didn't airstrikes work there? Here's the difference. Libya already had a ground war happening. Local militias were already fighting. Air support came after the rebellion started. That's not the situation in Iran. There's no large-scale ground movement, and without that, air campaigns don't achieve regime change. But let's say, hypothetically, that regime change did happen. Then what? Is there a perfect replacement waiting? Some hope for the return of Shah's son from exile. But history teaches us something important. Exiled leaders who return are rarely welcomed as heroes. And even if they do come back, they usually continue the same policies, including nuclear development, because from their perspective, it makes perfect sense. Why wouldn't you want what your neighbor already has. So, what's the end game here? It's actually quite simple. Stay the strongest power in the region. Remain the only nuclear state. Make sure neighboring countries are too divided or too dependent to push back. And how do you maintain that position? Keep everyone else weaker, politically, economically, militarily. May Allah bless us with sincere, wise, and just leaders who guide us with truth and compassion and who work for the benefit of all Muslims.